Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we're going to talk about all things healthy living with a nationally known expert, his incredible journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I think we know more about the human body and how it works than ever any time in the history of mankind, and yet we're an overweight country. We're wired. We're tired. We're drinking coffee to get us up in the morning. We're winding down with an adult beverage, and we're getting fatter than ever before. So I think sometimes old wisdom is the best wisdom. It's what our mom and grandma told us. Eat those fruits and veggies. Coleman is in the studio. He's a John C. Maxwell Certified Speaker and Coach and a good friend. Thank you for coming on the show.
My pleasure, Jeff. Thanks
Awesome.
for having me.
Okay, so I asked you your fitness journey because you look great, by the way. I mean, that has to be like 19-inch biceps. So your mom told you when you were growing up, eat the fruits and veggies?
She did.
Yeah.
She was very adamant about that. And the interesting thing is, we were so doggone poor growing up, Jeff. Mm-hmm. You know, we ate most of our fruits and vegetables out of the backyard. My great grandmother had a little small garden in the back, and we used to raid it.
All right. So what put you on this path of healthy living and educating people?
Yeah. So I would say maybe around when I was 19 years old, my grandmother who passed, she used to say, fast food will give you cancer. And there was no documented proof of any of that.
Sure.
But one day I ate some McDonald's and I got really sick. It came right up on the parking lot, and I just decided then I didn't want to eat fast food anymore. Wasn't really educated about nutrition or anything. That was just kind of like common sense to me. It made me feel bad. So I said I shouldn't be eating it. And I would say fast forward 2008, I got introduced to direct sales and network marketing by way of a nutritional company. And then I started really educating myself on nutrition.
All right, we're going to pull up your Facebook page. And as we scroll down the Facebook page, you do everything from keynote speaking to breakout conferences. In fact, I think you're in town from St. Louis because you're doing an event here in Dallas. What gets you out of bed in the morning? What's your passion?
My passion is people. I love people. And I believe I have a direct assignment to impact the lives of people physically, mentally, spiritually, and financially. And so, you know, I would say my children are one of my greatest inspirations because for all the things I didn't like as a kid, for all the things that I wanted to change, I found myself in a position to where I can do that with my own family. So I live vicariously through my children. They've all been athletes at some point. However, my 2 youngest, Jordan and Sarai, they're track, volleyball, basketball.
Love it.
Very passionate about it.
Well, I know a lot of parents are working parents, and here in Texas, kids are going back to school this week. And, you know, they like to think they're going to feed good food to their kids, but sometimes it's a Taco Bell drive-through. So what's your advice to parents who are trying to make sure that their kids are healthy and time is precious?
So meal prepping is extremely important. As a matter of fact, Jeff offered me some food after the interview, and I said, man, I brought my lunch. I live in Houston, Texas now. And so I drove in from Houston, about 3.5 hour drive. Man, I have my boiled eggs. I have my granola, my non-dairy granola. I'm sorry, non-dairy yogurt with my non-grain granola. I brought my little tuna salad from last night because...
And that doesn't take too much time.
It doesn't. For the amount of time that it takes compared to damage that you do to your cells from eating a lot of sugar and fast foods. And then what I found out about the children is that the sugar is really counteractive to their learning process.
Yes.
And so even my 12-year-old daughter, my 15-year-old son, they take their lunch to school. My son is very adamant about his nutrition, more so than any 15-year-old I know. His desire is to go to the NBA. And so he's he believes if he eats right, he'll be 7 foot tall.
Sure.
So that's his motivation.
And for busy parents, I mean, a crock pot, I mean, you could put some really good, vitamin-rich carrots in there and some great ingredients, and just slow cook that thing all day, and you got a great meal for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, and I would say the oven as well. So from sweet potatoes being baked, I dice them up, a little bit. My health scan told me I needed to kind of lay off of the white rice and white potatoes. So I've been integrating, sweet potatoes, put those in the oven. I still do white potatoes. I do more red, right? However, I eat a lot of fish, Jeff. Fish takes about 7 to 8 minutes to cook on top of the stove. I don't eat fried fish unless it's my birthday or something. But just a little avocado oil, right? A little pan sear, 3.5 minutes on each side. You got your baked potato already ready to go. And you can just fix a quick salad. Right? So it's kind of boring. Right? It's not as flavorful as most kids would like, but if you start them off that way, they don't really know the difference. And then when they do get the stuff that's not so good, they know it's a treat.
Amen. I know you have different companies that you work with. One of them that you're passionate about is Vital Health.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that company.
So I got introduced to Vital Health about 4 months ago. When you've been in the industry as long as I have, 18 years, when, I would say premier company comes around, if you would, you usually get the call. So I got the call by a good friend of mine, James Linhart, and took a look at it, and I said, wow, this is a dream come true. Because, Jeff, 10 years ago, I got introduced to plant-based nutrition. I got introduced to the power of adaptogens by way of my holistic doctor, who I met in network marketing. Okay. And so at that time, my children and I were suffering greatly from allergies. And I hated all the Allegras and the Claritins and all the over-counter drugs because I know long-term they're not necessarily the best thing. So when my holistic doctor gave us a protocol and it was plant-based, she said it's like eating food, but it's just in the form of a tablet. I was a little skeptical, okay, because I'm like, well, how is this going to work? And then I found out when a body has what it needs, nutritionally, it can heal itself, okay? And so when my children started getting results, after 30 days or so, I'm like, we're sold. And we've been on this now for about 10 years. Try to refer a lot of my family and friends. They wouldn't go because she didn't take insurance, but she even helped me to manage my stress levels through plant-based nutrition. My hair was falling out because of stress. My face was breaking out, because of stress. And found out that your stress levels are managed by your adrenal glands. So she gave me adrenal support that came by way of plant-based nutrition. Well, fast forward, here it is, Vital Health not only has plant-based nutrition that's affordable for the masses, but we introduce technology with it so that we can give you a transparent overview in terms of, what's going on inside of your body. So you don't have to take my word for it. It's a bioelectric analyzer that reads the water molecules in your body. It's a frequency, and it will give you 45 key functions in terms of what's going on inside of your body.
That's amazing.
Then it will give you a color code in terms of the priority in which you need to address them or not, because it's going to give you the positive as well as the negative. So being able to give people a comprehensive report, which is going to provide a protocol to let you know this is where you need to start, has been a game changer. Now, the scanner is nothing new under the sun, Jeff. My holistic doctor, Dr. Janine Ridgway, introduced me to the scanner 10 years ago, which is how she gave me my protocol. So she was so impressed by the scanner. She came on board with us, as many as other providers, because even a lot of MDs are now looking for alternative and preventative ways through plant-based nutrition.
Well, you're a walking billboard for this company. You're also a serial entrepreneur, because you were telling me before the show that you have a feminine hygiene company.
Yes.
Share a little bit about that.
Yeah, so 10 years ago, I launched my own network marketing company called Inspire Network, and we launched Cherish premium sanitary napkins to the world, and they went viral. Now, Cherish is a non-toxic menstrual pad for that special time of the month, but without the toxins or the chemicals, plus it's super absorbent. Fast forward, repackaged, rebranded to Essentiables, which are cherished but improved. Repackaged, rebranding. But we don't necessarily lead with pads because it's kind of weird for most guys to talk about that.
Sure.
So we lead with the education. And most men, if they have information that could potentially save or change, the women in their lives that they care about, they will share that information.
Absolutely.
And so we have been on a crusade to educate men, women, and children on the harmful effects of some of today's tampons and sanitary napkins. This is no new information, right? This has been out here for years, but who would think to look?
Right.
Because it's something that's been sold to our women for decades. However, when you do your due diligence, you find out a lot of these products are full of toxins and chemicals, which can lead to adverse health effects.
Wow.
So it's a passion project of mine.
And Damon, you're also a very popular keynote speaker. Let's talk about your speaking career.
Wow. So I didn't plan on being a speaker or a coach. My first year in direct sales and multi-level marketing, which was in 2008, I hit the top of that company in 9 months. Wow. Okay. It got me an upwards to over $50,000 a month in income, which is, thank you, something I didn't see that coming either because I didn't know anything about this industry. I just found out if you share some information about a product or a service that the company provides, they will pay you royally. I said, that's easy, as long as I believe in it, right?
Yes, of course.
So when I hit the top of that company, everybody wanted to know how. Okay, so they threw me on stage and said, just tell your story. Tell everybody how you did it. But it was at a convention with thousands of people.
Wow.
So that was the beginning. And then I found out this is something that I love.
Yes.
To be able to share information that can impact people's lives. So that led me to John C. Maxwell.
And let's talk a little bit about John C. Maxwell. I mean, that's a huge name.
Yes.
Talk about what that brand means.
So John C. Maxwell is the foremost speaker, coach, and author on leadership in the world. And so he started the John C. Maxwell Foundation, I don't know, maybe decades ago, okay? And so my dad, who is also John C. Maxwell speaker and coach, he just really insisted that I take the course. My dad has always believed in me, and I did it. Back in 2022, I got the course. 2023, I completed, and that's when I got my certification. But that is more or less a stamp, if you would, for being able to align myself with somebody such as John C. Maxwell. And so, believe it or not, I'm just starting to get into more speaking and coaching, paid speaking and coaching engagements.
Congratulations.
Because up until now, I've really just been doing it as a part of my business. If you're in my organization, it just kind of, the speaking and coaching comes along with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we have about 2 minutes left. So look into that camera on the left and talk to the person right now who's wired, tired. They just know their body's not working the way it should work.
So first of all, prevention is better than cure. You don't want to wait until you get the diagnosis in terms of, starting to make your health a priority, right? You don't want one prescription drug because they're going to lead to 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, what you want is to be able to have an evaluation of what's going on inside of your body. Here at Vital Health, we do that by way of our scanner, right, to get you on the protocol. But plant-based nutrition and adaptogens is what your body needs so that it can start to heal itself. Now, we as a company don't make any medical claims to heal or mitigate any type of sickness or disease. However, we have thousands of testimonials of individuals just like you, Jeff, who have been consuming our products. They're feeling better, they're looking better, and our hope is that you will potentially live longer.
Outstanding. You've been an amazing guest. We're going to end with your Facebook and Instagram. We're going to put that on the screen.
Okay.
It's Damon Coleman at Facebook and also and on Instagram. The great Damon Coleman. Thanks for coming on the show.
My pleasure, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
That's it for now.
Okay.
We'll see you next time.
All right.